Imagine, if you will, a unified European army. What would that look like? This question has been at the forefront of many geopolitical discussions recently, more so after Italy's recent call for the formation of a common European military. The concept of a unified European army, in essence, suggests a collective defense force under the umbrella of the European Union. Now, such a formation would have far-reaching implications, not just for Europe, but for the world at large. Currently, the defense structure in Europe is largely coordinated through NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This alliance, with its collective defense agreement, has been a cornerstone of European defense since the mid-20th century. Additionally, the European Union has its own rapid deployment capability, a force designed for swift response to crises both within and outside of Europe. These existing structures serve a similar purpose to what a unified European army would. However, the idea of a common European military is not without its detractors, particularly among the EU member states. Several EU member countries have pushed back against the proposal, deeming it unrealistic and unnecessary. Countries like Slovenia, Spain, Denmark, and Poland have voiced their disagreement, each bringing to the table their own unique perspective. Slovenia, a small but strategic player, regards this proposal as a distraction from the real issues at hand. The country believes that the focus should be on strengthening existing alliances rather than forming new ones. Spain, with its deep-rooted NATO ties, considers the proposed European army as an unnecessary duplication of efforts. The country's stance is clear. Why create a new military alliance when one already exists and functions effectively? Denmark, an ardent supporter of NATO, echoes Spain's sentiment. The Danes believe that a European army could potentially dilute NATO's influence and undermine its efficacy. Poland, on the other hand, is weary of the geopolitical implications. The country fears that a European army might isolate non-EU NATO members, creating divisions where unity is paramount. These nations, along with others, see NATO as their primary multilateral orientation. They argue that a separate European-only force could lead to redundancy, creating more problems than it solves. The opposition isn't just about practicality, it's about principle. It's about preserving the strength of existing alliances and avoiding unnecessary complications. It's a reminder that the road to unity isn't always about creating new paths, but strengthening the ones we already tread on. Disagreements among the EU nations are clear, with little consensus on the need for a European army. As we move forward, these differences in opinion will continue to shape the discourse around the future of European defense. Despite the lack of consensus on a European army, there are steps being taken to tighten defense cooperation among EU member states. The idea of a European army may be seen as unrealistic and redundant by many, given the existence of NATO. But this doesn't mean that Europe is turning a blind eye to its defense needs. In fact, there's a growing trend of individual cooperative measures among the member states, aiming to strengthen their defense capabilities. Without forming an all-encompassing unified force, these countries are engaging in bilateral and multilateral initiatives to bolster their military readiness and interoperability. One significant initiative is the EU's rapid deployment capability. This is seen as a parallel initiative that offers similar capabilities to what a European army could potentially provide. The goal here is not to duplicate NATO, but to complement it, to ensure that Europe can respond swiftly and effectively to any crisis that might arise. These measures indicate a willingness to work together on defense, even as the concept of a unified army remains a contentious issue. So, what does the future hold for the idea of a unified European army? As we've explored throughout this discussion, the concept of a European army remains a contentious issue, sparking debate among the member countries of the European Union. There's a divergence of opinions, with countries like Slovenia, Spain, Denmark, and Poland expressing skepticism, labeling the idea as unrealistic and unnecessary. They argue that the existence of NATO and the EU's rapid deployment capability renders the creation of a separate European-only force redundant. On the other hand, some voices within the European Union, notably Italy, are advocating for a common military force, seeing it as a step towards greater integration and self-reliance. The debate continues to evolve, shaping the future of defense cooperation in Europe. The outcome of this discussion could significantly impact the geopolitical landscape, altering the dynamics of international relations and redefining the role of Europe on the global stage. As we navigate these complex waters, it's essential to stay informed and engaged. That's where you come in. What are your thoughts on a unified European army? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also support this channel by buying us a cup of coffee. Links are in the description. Thank you for watching.